that as comfortable and confident as you are with your musical ability, that you doubt your star quality. True?
Unfortunately, yeah. Without Mom, I felt naked. And I would get off that bus, and I would literally, look around like, oh, God, I hope I don't cry, or I hope I don't get insecure, and I'd have to really talk to myself.
Dear?
Good. Thank you. You're welcome. Yes, she's responding to chemo? Yeah. It's for your mom, and you're Shannon, right? Yeah. Well, you take care of your mom. She's the only one you got.
It was often Mom who took the lead in connecting with the audience and running the show, and you tended to hold back a little bit and would sort of hide back by the drum section, I know.
Oh, definitely. Definitely did that.
Has it been hard for you to come out and take that lead?
That's the biggest struggle I have, because here's the deal, okay? I knew that going out there, those critics would be sitting there going, okay, Wynonna, we know you have a voice, but let me see some twirls, and let me see some, something that, just makes me, know that you're confident.
Here in a Holiday Inn ballroom in Bozeman, Montana.
I mean, I really want to work on that and get that strong, because I get real self-conscious.
Wynonna rehearses with choreographer Anthony Thomas to work on her moves and her confidence as a performer alone now in the spotlight.
Good, exactly.
And then I walk up with Mark.
What's the hardest thing about being on the road alone?
I'm starting to kind of talk to myself. I make my bodyguard and my road manager stay up and play board games at night. And then, of course, trying to find feminine hygiene products in Missoula, Montana. That's the biggest struggle.
Wynonna definitely has a sense of humor, and it was certainly put to the test earlier this summer during an appearance with Jay Leno on The Tonight Show.
I think he was so inspired that he just decided to come over to me. I looked at him, he looked at me, I thought, we're going to do a little tango, and the rest is history. Bless his little heart. He was mortified.
Were you?
No, not really. I could have edited it out of the end, but I didn't, because anything for a laugh, That's kind of where I'm coming from.
Where Wynonna comes from is key to who she is. While we talked in the elegant living room she decorated, the setting is pure country. She lives on a rural road outside of Nashville in a renovated farmhouse just a few miles from her mom's place.
How easy is it for Wynonna Judd to meet people, meet guys?
I think probably guys recognize my insecurities, and a guy doesn't want to have anything to do with that, but I'm working on it now, but I'm starting to feel more, self-confident. I sailed the boat on the wild, yonder dreams rarely come true.
Wynonna says it's those bumps in the road that give texture and emotion to her music. And while she understands that some may always feel that two Judds are better than one, she'll keep singing as long as somebody's listening.
I know what it's like to, get panned. Lose a little weight, get out there and be something, change, do this. I don't like that about you. I know that's going to happen to me, and it hurts my feelings, But I also know that somebody out in that audience, man, there's one guy, he's up in the nosebleed section, and he's getting it. He's going, I connect with that girl. I know what she's saying.
Clearly, as she crisscrosses the country on tour, Wynonna is taking command. Her mother's at home, coping with her illness, which is in remission right now, writing her autobiography, but never really very far from her daughter's heart.
How much do you worry about your mom?
Every day. We only have one mom, and
How often do you see her?
not enough. I bought a farm next to her, so we can, I'm going to build a sky lift so we can go back and forth and, hang out, because she's it for me. She's my greatest companion. It's like she said it best. she holds the lantern while I chop the wood, you know. I thought that was great. She said that, yeah. Just tell him, honey, that I'm holding the lantern while you chop the wood.
Wynonna Judd in 1993. It would be more than 6 years before Naomi would be back to chopping wood herself, reuniting with her daughter. Meanwhile, that other daughter was making a name for herself, not in music, but in the movies. We'll hear from Ashley Judd in a moment.
Do you have rules? Do you have specific rules about what you don't sing? What don't you sing?
Gosh, well, I mean, we're mother-daughter. What songs would I sing to my mother? What songs would I be proud enough to sing to my grandmother as well as my 18-year-old sister? That's important to us. We want to stress the positive. We've been through the hard times. You know, we've already been through all that. And people might look at us and say, well, life can't be all that great. Trust me, it is. Right
18-year-old sister, you mean there's
Ashley.
more like you at home. What do you
Not
call her?
like
Well, I
me.
hear you call her Smashly Ashley.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's a long story. I don't think we
She
have time.
smashes cars. They used to take my old 57 Chevy out in back roads in Tennessee and knock down fence posts. That's where she got her nickname.
Oh, I thought maybe it meant she was really great looking too.
Oh, she is. Yeah.
She sings?
She's gorgeous. She's in the next room watching us on the monitor right now. You're one of her heroines in
I
life.
am?
Because you're a
Yes.
Kappa.
Oh, then we're all related, aren't
She's
we?
a sorority girl right now to the max, so she's she makes great grades and
No trio though.
No, Ashley's
On
got
the
talent in other
screen.
areas.
Talents in other areas. Well
show.
put, sister. Well put.
That was 1987. Sister Ashley was then just 18. 4 years younger than Wynonna, she was destined to become a star in her own right, not as a singer, but as an actor. In the early 90s, she got noticed as a regular on the TV series Sisters. Her big screen breakthrough came in 1993, earning critical raves with a film called Ruby in Paradise.
People in here, I'm sure that you could just add me right in and I could do something just fine for you.
When the movie premiered in Hollywood this week, two of the most important names on Ashley's guest list were Wynonna and Naomi.
And there is no doubt that her mother is proud.
maybe for the first time in my life, I'm speechless.
She couldn't hide her emotions during the evening.
I know I'm not being very articulate because there's just a whole lot of stuff going on in me right now.
Wynonna found herself with a swirl of emotions as well when Ashley chose to leave her family behind in Nashville and make the big move to Hollywood to pursue her acting dream. Her country singing big sister had her doubts.
Well, Mom has said before that, you know, the acting world it makes the music business seem stable. And I was worried about Ashley's, her heart. I was worried about it being broken.
What would you teach? I mean, children. How to survive. Yeah. I guess that's it.
Wynonna thinks that some of the lessons that she's already learned, I will learn in my own good time. Like people's inordinate curiosity and things like that. Because I'll be like, what do you want to know that for? And Wynonna will say, you think it's bad now, you just wait.
I want Ashley to know that this could all be gone tomorrow and to appreciate and drink it in every day.
Hey, why didn't you follow in your mom's and sister's footsteps and pursue a career in country music? You know, after all these years, I still don't have a pat response to that. I think that really all I can say is there are not many people in this whole wide world who sing as well as my sister does. I was going to ask you, can you sing? Not particularly well.
Well, maybe that's the reason why you didn't pursue a career in
That
country
is part of the
music.
reason why I would probably have to admit it. Let's talk about acting. How did you get involved in acting? It was really something that picked me. I didn't have much of a choice. By the time I was 8 years old, I had this very definite consciousness that I was meant to be an actress. And I didn't particularly have a definition for it, but it was just something I knew. I always read. Wynonna sang, I read. And acting is about picking up an imaginary circumstance off the page and having a real emotional relationship with it. And I always had impulses to live out stories, and I think I was lucky enough to have that translate into acting.
Ashley Judd continued to find fulfillment in acting, of course. 6 years later, she starred in one of the biggest hits of 1999, Double Jeopardy, playing a woman bent on revenge after being falsely accused of killing her husband.
I think about you all the time, honey. I miss you so much.
It's hard to find those roles in Hollywood, although you've had a really good track record with being able to nab those roles. And you don't do a lot of the girlfriend role.
Well, I know that a lot of women have that complaint, but it has not ever been my reality. And I'm so optimistic that even the idea of, you know, getting older and the roles diminish even more substantially. I think, for example, if I were to get breast cancer, by the time I had it, there would be a cure. So I think that by the time I'm 58, there's going to be nothing but great roles for women because women are such a numerous part of our global population, we want to see ourselves and our stories reflected in our art.
You live in Tennessee on your mom's property.
Well, I have my own little 5-acre fiefdom in the overall Judd kingdom there.
But it's the Judd Kingdom, the
Yes.
end of the road kind of thing, which I've read about a lot. Does that kind of put you out of the loop for Hollywood roles? Do you ever feel like, gosh, I should be in New York, I should be in L.A.?
I just spent almost 2 weeks in Los Angeles. I chose to stay there
That was
gearing
enough?
up for the premiere and whatnot. And by about the 4th day, it happened even more quickly than I expected. I was yearning to be out in the country. So I went to the beach as much as I could, and I found some solace in yoga class. I love what I do, and I love going out and being a part of a creative, energetic whirlwind, getting excited about parts. But
But you want to do it from
A country girl, like her mom. When we come back, a few words from Naomi Judd.
Do you miss being on tour?
Desperately.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, you believe in miracles?
Yes, I do. Touch me. I'm living proof it pays to believe in miracles.
Naomi Judd in 1993, 2 years after health concerns forced an end to her enormously successful singing partnership with daughter Wynonna. Naomi had been diagnosed with hepatitis C, but as she liked to say, if you're going to throw a pity party, don't invite me. She was a fighter. Her illness went into remission. She wrote an autobiography and made the rounds promoting it. In January 1994, she was feeling well enough to reunite with Wynonna for a special halftime performance at the Super Bowl. That morning at the Georgia Dome, she paid a visit to Katie Couric on Today.
Do you miss being on tour?
Desperately.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, why not reunite?
There's that question.
Hey!
I wondered how long it would take you. The 2 questions I get asked out on the book tour, in fact, in that order, are how do you feel, and is this going to signal a reunion? And to tell you the truth, no, because the kid has done such an amazing piece of work the last 2 years.
Her solo career is going gangbusters, isn't it?
Oh, of course it is. She's the best, but really I'm not talking about the fact that she sold triple platinum, you know, and made country music history. I'm talking about the piece of work that Wynonna Ellen Judd, my daughter's done. She's had this amazing metamorphosis. I told her on the phone last night, I said, honey, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. So I don't want to mess with that, but she said last night, you know, she's coming in today for a rehearsal. They're going to charter her in because she's got a show in Shreveport. And she said, Mom, I know this is your first football game, and I know that, you know, we're both going to be emotional, and it's the Super Bowl and all that. And I said, well, you know, I don't know anything about football, but I do know a good tight end when I see one.
Naomi, my goodness.
Apparently, Naomi Judd wasn't letting her health problems get her down. The following year, back on Today with Katie, things looked even better.
And I'm just pumping like an oil well. I'm just doing great. I have a situation called chronic active hepatitis. And liver disease is the 4th killer in America. No, not very many people know that, but I'm in complete remission. I've been working on it for 5 years.
How do you work on it?
Well, actually what I did, you know, this was a piece of work for me because I'm an RN. So here I am, a member of the mainstream medical community, and then the big enchiladas and the white starch lab coats with all the degrees on the wall look at me and say, there's nothing we can do for you. Sometimes medicine and modern science lets us down. So I really had to go inside, because sometimes when you can't find anything out there to help you, you have to go within. And for about 5 years, I've been researching the spirit, mind, body phenomenon.
So you're really defying the odds, which is terrific.
Very much so. I just had a liver spleen scan done out at UCLA, and these guys were, for instance, my own hepatologist said that it was a personal victory for him, because he said I lose 6 to 8 patients a day because people don't sign their donor cards.
Wow.
There aren't organs for them, and so the best thing I can do really is just to keep my head above water, so that I can sort of be a little light for all those millions of other people out there.
Naomi Judd is serious about being a little light shining for her many fans. And nothing could have made them happier than the news that after 8 years, she would reunite with Wynonna. The occasion was a New Year's Eve concert in Phoenix, Arizona, with a tour and an album to follow. In a moment, a final note, a look back to the beginning.
Good night, everybody. We keep believing.
The Judds have traveled a long road together and apart, but they started out like any would-be stars, as unknowns with high hopes. Let's finish our look at the Judds with a return to the beginning. 1984. That spring came their first #1 hit, Mama, He's Crazy. That fall, their second, Why Not Me? That was enough to get them on the nightly news.
I did my time working all week. Tonight's all mine, tomorrow I'll sleep. I want to hear a band with a country sound.
The Judds, the hottest new act in country music today. Wynonna and Naomi. Not sisters, daughter and mother. An almost unbelievable overnight success story with 2 straight #1 country music hits. A few months ago, the Judds were living 17 miles outside Nashville. Naomi, divorced for years, was a registered nurse at the county hospital. At night, they sang together by lamplight.
Mama, he's crazy, crazy over me.
No formal training, neither of them. Wynonna taught herself to play the guitar.
Oh, and Mama, he's crazy. He's crazy over me. Met my first love down in Texas, the club in San Antonio.
They were discovered by a Nashville music producer whose daughter Naomi nursed after she was injured in a car accident. After one short live audition, RCA signed them to a contract.
Oh, Mr. Payne.
Now they're on the road, traveling on a $300,000 bus.
The first time we ever performed was in front of 9,500 people.
We come off stage and we're like 2 kids on Christmas morning. She goes, Mom, you know, is this real?
They're bound for a honky-tonk in North Carolina.
Like a rose beneath the snow, I've been waiting.
Wynonna's just turned 20. She sings the lead. Impulsive, enthusiastic, street smart. Look out, world, here I come. Naomi's 38. She harmonizes. Child, I've already been there and back.
Love is all around you.
She's not bad for a mom.
Why not me? Why not be on a rainy day?
The Judds aren't quite there yet, but they're on their way. Next year, their business manager expects them to gross at least $2 million, which is not bad for 2 country girls who started out singing at a kitchen table.
I never thought that we would have so much success so quickly, and I just don't know what to do or say.
Baby, why not me? Good night, everybody.
Douglas Kiker, NBC News, Kernersville, North Carolina.
Naomi and Wynonna, the Judds, back when it all began. After years of struggle, they were about to have it all. Who could have imagined then that in 7 years' time, Naomi would be forced to the sidelines, that Wynonna would have to make it on her own, or that the year 2000 would bring the reunion their fans had long hoped for. Folks, there's a country song in there somewhere. That's time and again for now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jane Pauley, and we're history.
Now tell me the truth. Did somebody once ask you in an interview how the 2 of you first met?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Actual question.
Guys, we knew it was going to be an interesting and a lengthy interview. He sat down and said, how'd you first meet? So I told him we met at a mud wrestling match in Topanga Canyon. He goes, how you spell Topanga?